To introduce the importance of the order of play in many tactical situations, consider the game depicted in Table 1310. The payoffs are displayed in normal form in Table 1310. Sales volumes will eventually decline, but at a substantially higher margin than may well be in the retailer's distributor's best interests. What would you do as the retail dealer or distributor in this situation? Note that Table 310 contains no pure Nash equilibrium strategies. So how would you coordinate this on-again, off-again relationship? Note how much additional predictability of rivalry behavior emerges if we introduce a change in the structure of the game to a sequential order of play. Manufacturer-distributor relationship, a sequential game. Key differences from simultaneous game. Sequential decision-making replaces simultaneous moves. Players can now use look-ahead and reason-back induction. Resolves coordination failures seen in the simultaneous version. The game tree structure. This is in Figure 3-4. Manufacturer moves first. Update or not update product. The retailer distributor moves second. Continue or discontinue full retail effort. Manufacturer moves again. Advertise or not advertise. Payoffs listed in form of retailer and manufacturer. Backward induction step by step. Step 1. Endgame analysis. Manufacturer's best reply. At node M1, if R continues selling, M prefers not advertise. Retailer, 100K. Manufacturer, 350K. At node 2, node M2, if R discontinues, M prefers advertise. Retailer, 120K. Manufacturer, 280K. Retailer anticipates these best replies, prunes unlikely branches. Step 2. Retailer's best response. At node R1, continue leads to 100K to 300K for the manufacturer. Discontinue leads 120K, 280K for the manufacturer. Retailer prefers discontinue. Subgame equilibrium from R1 onward. Discontinue, advertise. Step 3. Manufacturer's initial decision. The manufacturer knows updating leads to 120K and 280K. Not updating leads to less favorable outcomes, not detailed here, but implied. So the manufacturer chooses update. The Nash equilibrium in sequential games. Strategy triplet. Manufacturer update. Retailer discontinues. Manufacturer advertise. Equilibrium payoff. Retailer gets 120K. Manufacturer gets 280K. Conceptual takeaways. Sequential play enables coordination. Players can predict behaviors using best reply reasoning. Backwards induction helps prune non-credible strategies. Strategic benefit. Manufacturer commits first with irreversible update. Retailer reacts rationally, anticipating manufacturer's next move. Credible commitment improves strategic clarity and profit predictability. The real-world application. Channel coordination in tech product updates, cooperative advertising agreements, retail pricing and service leads, and service levels, retail pricing and service levels. Highlights the value of credible commitments and structured decision orders. The subgame, perfect equilibrium. Origin and definition. Developed by Reinhard Selten, the 1994 Nobel Prize with John Nash, applies Nash equilibrium logic to sequential games. A strategy profit is subgame perfect if it represents a Nash equilibrium in every proper subgame of the original game. Sequential game applications, manufacturer distributor, round 2. Players, manufacturer, retailer, and then the manufacturer. The manufacturer decides first update or not to update. The retailer responds continue or discontinue, and the manufacturer acts again with advertise or not advertise. The SPE strategy, identification via backward induction. Backward induction equals look ahead to rival's best reply response and then reason back to the original path. Only analyze proper subgames. Section of the game tree that, being at a decision node, includes all features moved from that point. Key reasoning steps. Ignore unreachable nodes. Off the equilibrium path. Example R2 and M3, if product is not updated, are skipped. Though payoff may be high, they won't occur with rational play. These are not part of a proper subgame. Retailer's best reply at R2, given that M1 won't advertise without an update, continue only to 60K, so retailer chooses discontinue to get 130K. Proper subgame includes R1 and M2. At R1, retailer prefers discontinue based on expected manufacturer's behavior. At M2, manufacturer's best reply is advertise. Subgame perfect equilibrium strategy. Update, discontinue, advertise is the SPE. Holds as a Nash equilibrium in every proper subgame. So why does subgame perfect equilibrium matter? Refines Nash equilibrium by eliminating non-credible threats. Ensures consistency and rationale at every decision point, not just overall. Especially important in multi-stage business interactions, product launches, retailer coordination, contract design, multi-firm competitive battles. The complexity in larger games. In large multiplayer sequential games, many potential endgames and subgames exist. SPE's identification can be computationally complex. Example, three-way comparative advertising duel, exercise 6, requires analyzing 20 endgames. Subgame perfect analysis ensures stable, rational outcomes throughout. The strategic takeaways. Subgame perfect equilibrium ensures credibility, consistency, and foresight. Critical for business strategy, legal contract enforcement, policy design, and repeated or staged decision environments. Sequential games and business rivalry, key concepts. The subgame perfect equilibrium is self-enforcing. No third-party enforcement is needed. Players follow strategies because deviating would make them worse off. Relies entirely on mutual best reply responses at every stage. Credibility. 2. Credibility, commitment versus threat. A strategy is credible if a player has no incentive to abandon it in future stages. Credible commitment equals choices made in the present that shape and constrain future actions. Credible threats equals actions a player is willing to take, even at short-term costs, to deter rivals. 3. Case examples. Ulcer relief medicine, figure 13-5. The players, Pastinence, incumbent monopoly ulcer drug provider. Potent, innovative potential entering the market. Potent's first decision, enter the market or stay out and license its trade secrets to others. Payoffs. Stay out and license. Pastinence gets 50K, Potent gets 20K. Enter and discount. Pastinence gets 50K, Potent gets 40K. Enter and moderate pricing. Pastinence gets 35K and Potence gets 50K. No entry, no response. Pastinence gets 0 and Potent gets 100K. Stay out and moderate pricing. Past tense gets 100K and potent gets 60K from licensing. Strategic logic versus backward induction. If potent enters, past tense best reply is discount, not ignore. Results, payoffs 50K and 40K. If past tense moderates pricing, potent earns more, 50K instead of 40K, still incentivized to enter. If past tense does nothing, potent captures entire market and earns 100K. Past tense gets 0. Antitrust constraints. Past tense cannot simply buy out potent due to merger laws. Must respond strategically, either by deterring entry with pricing threats or negotiate under limited conditions. What is self-enforcing? If past tense credibility commits to discount upon entry, potent may choose not to enter and instead license, earning 20K or 60K. Past tense avoid losing monopoly entirely and preserves a 50K profit. SPE strategy prediction. Potent stays out plus licensing. Past tense discounts upon entry if needed. Strategic takeaway. SPE allows us to forecast realistic outcomes based on credible threats and commitments. Off equilibrium moves, no reaction from past tense, are ignored in SPE analysis. Antitrust laws may block the obvious merger route, forcing strategic response. Business implications. Sequential structures matter. Commitment timing affects payoffs. Entry deterrence, licensing, and reputation play critical roles in competitive strategies. The self-enforcing mechanisms, not contracts or regulators, sustained equilibrium in real markets. Core principle. Who can do what? When? Order of play is central in sequential games. It determines the initiator versus the responder, best reply responses, and strategic equilibrium. Entry deterrence 1. Figure 13-5 recap scenario. Potent versus past tense. Potence is the new entering the market, moves first. Enter or stay out. Incumbent reacts. High, moderate, or discount prices. Backward induction outcomes. If potent enters, past tense's best reply is a discount to 50K for past tense, 40K for potent. If potent stays out, past tense best reply is 80K for past tense, 30K for potent. This is the licensing arrangement. Potent compares. Entry payoff 40K, stay out payout 30K. Choose to enter the market. Subgame preferred equilibrium. Enter and discount. Insight. Even though a better joint payoff exists, 70K and 60K with stay out and moderate, rational best replies prevent access to that outcome. Potent cannot expect past tense to behave irrationally. Moderate when high is optimal. Enter deterrence 2. Revised order of play. Past tense moves first. Past tense announces pricing policy, high, moderate, or discounted. Potent responds, enter or stay out. Endgame reasoning. Potent's best replies. If high, potent enters. Incumbent gets 0. If moderate, potent stays out. Incumbent gets 70K. If discounted, potent enters. Incumbent gets 50K. Past tense chooses moderate pricing, expecting potent to stay out. New equilibrium. Moderate, stay out. Payoffs. Past tense 70, potent 30. Key comparison. Timing shifts power. Entry deterrence. Entrant moves first. Entrance deterrence. Incumbent moves first. If the entrant moves first, the incumbent reacts. Potent enters, past tense discounts, equilibrium, enter discount. Past tense earns 50K. If the incumbent moves first, incumbent commits. Past tense sets moderate prices, potent stays out. Equilibrium, moderate, stay out. Past tense earns 70K. Strategic licensing. The first mover advantage can yield better outcomes, but not always. Revising order changes best replies and available strategies. Each sequential game is unique, requires careful backward induction. Credible commitment and timing matters. In entry deterrence, 2, past tense pre-committed to moderate pricing was credible, self-serving, so therefore credibility of move will be the subject of the next discussion. Credible threats. A conditional strategy the threat maker is worse off ignoring than implementing. A credible threat is credible because the action is the players, in this case, the incumbents. Without any monitoring or third-party enforcement whatsoever, one can fully rely upon past tense to honor its commitment because it would not be in its own best interest to do otherwise. You can see why purposeful individual behavior and a shared objective in groups are so critical to game theory reasoning. Credible commitment. A promise that the promise giver is worse off violating than fulfilling. Past tense might establish a bond or contractual side payment to be forfeited if past tense raises prices. It could invest heavily in its moderate price strategy and establish that reputation. Loss of this non-redeployable reputational asset would discourage reneging on the deal. Non-redeployable reputational assets. A reputation whose value is lost if sold or licensed. Could short-circuit or interrupt the repricing process by pre-selling its medicine with forward contracts. Could enter into teamwork or an alliance relationship with Potent that would dilute the rewards from reneging on its commitment, perhaps by taking an equal stake in Potent. Could change the structure of the game to require that both parties take only small steps. Arrange an irreversible and irrevocable hostage mechanism like a price guarantee. Credible commitment in experience goods. Key concepts. The challenge of experience goods. Experience goods. Quality cannot be verified before purchase. Used cars, electronics. Rational buyers discount sellers' claims unless a credible mechanism assures quality. A hostage mechanism as credible commitment. Sellers offer guarantees, warranties to signal product quality. Acts as a hostage mechanism, a costly signal that's only worth offering if the product is actually high quality. Examples: replacement guarantee, product performance repair warranties. If seller fails to deliver quality, third-party enforcement, the courts. They will impose costs higher than the upgrade costs. This will ensure compliance. 3. What makes a guarantee credible? Not just the offer. Sellers must face real consequences for violating it. Credible example companies. Dooney and Buki, lifetime handbag repairs. Revo, sunglasses. Swell Cadillac, lifetime service guarantee. Why it's credible? Customer for life model. Repeat business acts as a powerful hostage. Losing referrals or loyal customers is more costly than just honoring the warranty. Sellers' sunk costs and brand quality can't be recovered without repeat sales. Guarantees are backed by brand, distribution, and reputation. They're non-redeployable assets. 4. Cost-benefit of commitment. The cost of honoring a guarantee is less than the cost of breaking trusts and losing future business. Creates a self-enforcing mechanism. Seller voluntarily keeps promises because it's in their best interests. The strategic takeaways: guarantee warranties turn credible commitment problems into trust-building tools. Hostage mechanisms. Reduce buyer skepticism in asymmetric information settings. Trustworthy guarantees, product buyers, build loyalty, differentiate premium sellers from opportunists. Hostages and credible commitments. The core problem: quality in experienced goods. In experienced goods, PC components, used cars, quality is not verifiable at the point of sale. Without credible commitment, buyers expect low quality, especially when firms are unknown and products are unbranded. Sellers are temporary or mobile. 2. Redeployable versus non-redeployable assets. Redeployable assets. No sunk costs, easy to walk away. Example: pop-up sellers, e-businesses with no physical presence. Expected to defect, low quality for high price. Non-redeployable assets. Costly to abandon. Signal intent to stay. Examples: branded stores, McDonald's. Reputational advertising, Apple and CarMax. Custom retail fixtures, Legs hosiery displays. Takeaway: sellers with non-redeployable investments have more to lose if they cheat. This provides credible commitment. Number 3. Hostages equals mechanism that support trust. A hostage is any sunk investment that binds a seller to good behavior. If the seller fails to deliver, the hostage loses value. Examples: high-cost logos or brand equity. Product-specific store layouts. Location-based investments. Reputational dependency on repeat or referral business. 4. Contractual hostage mechanisms. In addition to informal signals, formal mechanisms can enforce credibility. Franchise agreements, escrow bonds, and refund guarantees. These are backed by third-party enforcements, courts, banks, legal systems. There are 2 questions to test contractual credibility. Is the promise giver better off keeping the promise? Can the contract be revoked only for legitimate external reasons? If both answers are no, then the contract functions as a credible commitment. 5. Strategic implications in game theory. These mechanisms shift the payoff matrix, raise the cost of defection, make cooperation, high quality, the best reply strategy. It will help to overcome the dominant strategy of cheating in the one-shot or short-term gains. Conclusion: trust without verification. You need a hostage mechanism, non-contractual and contractual, and substitutes for verification. Support stable, self-enforcing relationships in both non-cooperative and cooperative settings. Build reliabilities in markets with asymmetric information. An early adopter of a new model of durable equipment, which has a working life that will extend over several market periods, worries about 1. Obsolescence risk. 2. Uncertain reliability of the new technology. 3. The risk of falling prices subsequent to his or her purchase. How well a manufacturer addresses these perceived risks of buying early will determine the rate of adoption and the prices paid to acquire new capital equipment. Planned obsolescence and strategic pricing for durable goods. The problem of obsolescence in durable goods. Firms like Cisco face challenges selling high-tech equipment due to rapid obsolescence from frequent newer models, delayed adoption by customers who anticipate future price drops, future better versions. The strategic risk for early buyers. Early adopters hesitate to pay premium prices if equipment becomes obsolete quickly. Late buyers benefit from price cuts. This creates incentives to delay purchase and reducing firms' first mover advantage. 3. Why traditional fixes don't work for fast tech. Contractual commitments to slow down upgrades. slow tech industries like trucks or cars, but it won't work for fast-moving industries like data servers. 4. Strategic solutions for planned obsolescence. Versioning. Shapiro and Varian continuously introduce upgrades at higher prices. Windows OS, Microsoft, iPhones, Apple encourage early adoption by signaling that waiting leads to more expensive versions, not discounts. Works best when firms can maintain technological lead. Leading to reduce buyer risk. Leasing reduces obsolescence risk. Buyers don't own outdated tech, upfront capital risk, and maintain repair costs if included. Example, IBM mainframes, they're leased only. Dell PC lease and refresh after 2 years. BMW full service with auto lease. 5. Competition with oneself. The durable good dilemma. Cisco competes not only with rivals, but also with its past models, older tech versions, a problem shared by Microsoft. Buyers delayed upgrading because the old version still works. Key takeaways. Durable good firms need a credibility commitment for value preservation. Leasing offers a commitment mechanism without sacrificing upgrade speed. It helps mitigate price drop risks and encourages early adoption. Overall, planned obsolescence must be carefully managed to avoid undermining buyer trust and profitability. Post-purchase discounting risk and leasing as a strategic tool. 1. The core problem, asymmetric information. Manufacturers know more than buyers about future price promotions, planned obsolescence schedule, technology lifecycle timing. This asymmetry creates risk for buyers who fear post-purchase discounts or premature obsolescence. Leasing is a credible commitment mechanism. Closed-end leases with fixed residual values protect buyers from unexpected discounting and sudden product obsolescence. Manufacturers absorb the resale risk, thereby giving up a credible hostage. Example: a leased corporate jet returned after 2 years has a guaranteed buyback value. If the manufacturer discounts or introduces a newer model too soon, the resale value falls below the residual, and they bear the cost. This risk makes their commitment to limited obsolescence more credible. 3. Renewable licensing as a hostage mechanism. Municipalities use renewable licensing to limit competition credibility, if we have utility franchises, preserve license values, and encourage higher bids from internal licensees. Insight: business licenses equals durable capital assets. License holders care about resale value. Cities increase revenue through renewable leases, not outright sales. 4. Application to trade sectors and partners. The same logic applies. Renewable licensing offers strategic control and resale value. Outright sale removes seller's leverage and reduces asset value over time. 5. The key takeaways. Leasing isn't always cheaper, but it's smarter. Credible mechanisms, high residuals, raise sellers' costs, but these costs are lower than discounting early to make a sale, offering steep upfront price cuts. Thus, leasing improves the profitability by mitigating price pressure, sustaining long-term buyer confidence, preserving market value of durable goods and licenses. Lease prices reflect anticipated risks. Residual value lease encodes remaining risk. Manufacturers cannot control all risks, tech breakthroughs, or competitors' price drops. These uncontrollable risks are priced into the lease. Result: leasing is not cheaper than buying over the product's life. Risk shifting example: choosing a BMW lease with full warranty shifts failure risk to the seller. Higher lease payments compensate for this shift in responsibility. 3. Strategic value for leasing to manufacturers. Early adopters fear future discounts and fast obsolescence. Closed-end leases with fixed residuals signal commitment to price stability, show manufacturers' true valuation of future product worth. Outcome: early adopters become more willing to pay higher prices. It helps manufacturers capture more valuable early in the product life cycle. Key insights: leasing doesn't lower total costs, but it builds credibility and supports premium pricing, stabilizes market behavior.